It's Petrie's first Busch Series start since 1988 when he ran 4 races at Richmond, Rockingham, and twice here at Martinsville. Right behind him, Craven told us this morning that Ricky said he's got a low snout car, David. What's a low snout car?
Well, that's the way it's built. The low snout car is the frame and everything is real low. In other words, the suspension on front is raised up and got longer spindles and stuff like that on the car and makes it sit real low. And the pivot point, I guess you would say, on the car when the car leans over the center of gravity, that's what he's talking about.
So he said it didn't get a lot of heat in the left side tire, so it doesn't qualify well. This is the 3rd time that Craven has raced this particular car here at Martinsville. It's never started better than 21st, but it's finished 3rd in both its previous races here.
Boy, Ricky Craven's doing everything he can. Now he's up under, not quite. He had track position. Now he's up under Petrie, trying to get ahead of him. And on this racetrack, when you have a car as good as the 3 car, it's tough for Ricky Craven to get by him because you see in the corners they're basically the same. Now acceleration on the bottom side should get him on by him.
Petrie is 1 lap down, as is Phil Parsons in the 99. He is 2 laps down. Johnny Rumley in the 00 is on the lead lap. 69 of 300 laps complete here at Martinsville. The hood has peeled up on one car heading for the back pit area, that of Michael Ritch.
You know, this points race here is kind of like the points race between Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. The cream always rises to the top. You notice right now that David Green's running there in 3rd, and in 6th place right now is Ricky Craven. He's moving quite well. We have a fire on the back straightaway.
Michael Rich's car is engulfed in flames.
He got out of the car. That's one good thing. He got out on the right side.
And the caution is out. A tremendous fire surrounding the car of Michael Ritch.
There goes the driver there, walking down pit road. He's a very lucky man to get out of that car.
He sure is. I seen one pit crewman pick up a fire extinguisher. Of course, it didn't last very long. It was just small.
Mike, that car's got a lot of damage to it there.
Yeah, let's check with Glenn.
Hey, man, we're over on the backstretch. We're only about 15, 20 yards from the car, and it is tremendously hot over here. The car is completely engulfed. Finally, there's enough fire extinguishers here to get the thing out, but good gracious, I can't believe how hot it is over here. We're going to try to find Michael Ritch and get a word with him if we can. I can't see him through all the smoke right now. Quick as we locate him, we'll get him back and talk to him, guys.
Glenn, I believe he's well in front of the car, about 3 pits down past the fire truck, and now leaning against the toolbox and talking with some folks there. Let's show you again what happened. This car is fully in. I've never seen a fire in the pits. Look at the left side of the car. And there's Michael Ritch. And they yanked him out by the epaulets on his shoulders of his driver's suit. And in the interest of safety, NASCAR has brought out the caution to deal with the fire. It is no pun to tell you that's the Bill Ellis Barbecue Oldsmobile.
Well, it's not a pun, but no. The reason he made that pit stop is his hood flew up, and I'm sure they come in. You notice the nose of the car was beat up pretty bad. The hood flew up in the middle of the corner down there, and he come in the pits, and then I guess they were gassing it up, and he probably accelerated a little bit. You see, looked like the fuel run down the door there onto the exhaust while he was trying to accelerate to get ready to go back out.
Everybody is okay, as caution is out for the 3rd time today here at Martinsville Speedway for an intense fire in the pit and surrounding the car of Michael Ritch. Cars in the lead lap as we finish up this caution here at Martinsville. What's left of Michael Rich's burned out car is being hauled back toward the garage area. Here's Glenn.
Well, I'm standing beside of Michael Ritch. I'm awfully glad to have been able to find him, and I know he's glad to be standing here. Michael, what happened?
I don't know. I don't really know. There on that restart, somebody kind of got in the back of us kind of hard because I got into Leslie kind of hard at this train reaction, but it knocked the tube that connects the fuel together to the fuel tank, and it just knocked that tube off, and we didn't see it, and the fuel was just draining out. And it was just, this accident, I don't know I'm glad we're standing outside of it.
Well, we're certainly glad you are, too. There was one crewman that was a little overcome with smoke. He's okay now, so everything's all right. But, boy, they got a burned-up race car.
And fortunately, there you see Michael and a crewman doing a tumble. But, look, there's just a little bit of soot marks on that suit of his. And he is otherwise okay. Quite a tribute to the very strong safety rules and regulations. There you can see inside the trunk where that tube has come disconnected.
Yeah, it's come loose there, Mike, and what it is.
Now, on the upper left, that's the fuel filler where the fuel goes in on the outside.
It just came loose and all that gas went down on that rear end. The rear end's awful hot here, and so that's what exploded the fuel.
Fortunately, Michael is okay. Earlier, Glenn talked to Kenny Wallace, who's been in this position before, and the three men chasing the championship. You won't believe it, but I guarantee you that neither heard the other's answers. But now let's get from the fellows who have been there and who are there the ideas on what the strategy is for these final two races, as Glenn Jarrett talked to them earlier.
Well, David Green he won't admit it, but he's playing a psychological profile with his own self. He's saying, well, I'm not going to run too easy. I'm going to go out there and do everything I've always done to get me right where I'm at.
Well, Glenn, it's got to be the same as we've done every Busch race this year, and just be consistent. Let David Green drive the way he wants to drive, and hopefully we can start up front, qualify real good, start up front, stay best place to be up front, so and stay the same consistent person that I've always been.
So even though he'll tell you, or maybe he'll feel like nothing's wrong, I know that right now he's trying to not do nothing wrong mentally. He's trying to make all the right moves. On the other hand, Craven's going to go into the Cup next year. He has nothing to lose, so he's in the best position because he feels like a hero already.
I've got some exciting things happening for next year. I'm really proud of my guys. We're not really supposed to be in this position, maybe, by some people's standards as a new team.
And Chad Little, he's the guy that should win it. Absolutely no pressure, nothing to prove. He's had a really good year. He's proved himself as a driver again, and he's on his way back.
We are awful excited about being within reach of having a shot at the championship, and I guess that's what you're going to ask for. If you have a shot at it, that's what's important, and we are.
David Green's sitting in the toughest seat because he's going to try to pretend there's nothing absolutely bothering him, and I hope everything goes good for all three of them.
The thoughts of Kenny Wallace. He's been in a couple of these tough title chases. Let's sneak in another commercial break before we go back to green here at Martinsville Speedway. We'll be right back with Busch Racing live on TNN.
The Advance Auto Parts 500 on TNN is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Well, I've had cars that drove like they were made out of old beer cans, but never one that looked like one.
That's David Pearson's first race car. What are you making fun of it for?
Barney Oldfield's maybe. Hey, next weekend, a big doubleheader live on TNN. Saturday, the AC Delco 200 Busch Grand National Race to decide this championship. And Sunday, the AC Delco 500 Winston Cup race. You'll see both of those on TNN. And there's the ticket office phone number. There are tickets available for both those races.
Wow, Mike. I've talked to 2 or 3 teams that went down and tested there. They said it's anywhere from 5 to 7 miles an hour faster than it's ever been with the new surface down there. So it's going to be a barn burner.
I think so. Here's your Napa Field standing update. Brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. Here's how they're running. Just a lap or two, and we'll get back to green here as they reset some of the safety equipment that had all marshaled itself to the back pit for the fire on Michael Ritch's car that's brought out this third caution of the day. Out of the race, Robert Presley is out. The 05 car, Tom Peck started the Mullen Fawcett machine. He's by the wayside, and so is Jay Fogelman in an ex-Tommy Houston car, number 95. His looking car is out. And Dick Trickle back in the race after repairing that yoke to the rear end. We've got some walking wounded, or should I say rolling wounded, here at Martinsville. Here's a look.
Boy, I tell you, we have Randy LaJoy, Rodney Combs, and Larry Pearson Larry Pearson has Jimmy Hensley standing by for him. Of course, Dick Trickle filling in for the injured Rodney Combs. He broke the shoulder blade. And Randy LaJoy says, listen to me. I'm perfect now. My legs are working again. I hit my head a little bit at Charlotte, and I'm running just fine here at Wilkesboro.
That's what he said?
That's what he said. So he hit his head pretty good, I'd say.
Okay. Want to take a minute and remember a fellow who built and owned some great race cars, driven to victory by many of the sport's best. Robert G. Passed away Friday after a long battle, and he'll be missed.
One of the most colorful people, one of the hardest working men, one of the greatest people I've ever known, and he'll certainly be missed in the racing community. He was a fabricator for so many people that if you had to put them all down, you'd take up a full page in the newspapers. But he's a great man, and all the family, we certainly will miss him.
86 laps are complete here at the Martinsville Speedway. There's Mike Wallace, the race leader, David Green. We expect only one pit stop in this race. The tire rule for this race is that the teams are allowed one tire per position on the car under yellow for the entire race. So that would probably mean one yellow flag pit stop, and that 87 out of 300 laps seems like it's way too early for that.
I think it's way too early. I really do. They'll probably wait at least halfway. You know, since they can't change but one set of tires. In other words, you can't change the right side twice. You've got to change the right side once and the left side once. That's all they're allowed to do.
Well, that's under the yellow, but under the green you can change anytime you want to. You just lose so much track position. It's really not in your best interest to do so.
The only time they'll do that is if they have a flat or hit somebody or something like that.
20 cars on the lead lap, and in one lap we'll go back to green. Among the point leaders, David Green is in second place. Ricky Craven in sixth. And back in 13th, third place point man Chad Little.
Mike, you see him weaving back and forth. This racetrack is probably the most critical. Get all the junk off your tires that builds up when you run around here slow. Because when you go down in the corner, if you don't have them clean well, it'll go just like you have a flat tire, right straight in the wall. So you really have to be careful.
Green this time.
You know, but I never did run here while they had the asphalt in it. I mean, the concrete. they say it's a lot better this way with concrete than it is with asphalt.
Well, that's good, but it's still, you can see the dark marks there. That's where the tires are put down rubber, and you pick it up when you run slow with hot tires, so you really got to be careful.
Green flag at lap 89, and Mike Wallace takes off from the field. David Green right with him, and that whole inside line is going to go.
Whoa, Jason Keller.
Oh, boy, Terry Labonte made a move to get past him.
He just did miss it.
We may stay. Nope, we're going caution. Jason Keller installed a new engine, and trouble in turn 3. Chad Little has spun. The number 3-point man has to climb the curb to get away from this one.
I mean, Mike, it's just like Buddy said, if you don't clean your tires real good, something's going to happen.
And a lot of smoke from the rear end of Larry Pearson, Stanley Tools, number 92.
Yeah, look at the damage on the right front corner there. He really got into something.
Yeah, I think everybody stacked up behind Jason Keller. Watch the move that number 14, Terry Labonte, makes to get away here.
Jason just lost control there, but look at Terry Labonte. Woo, look at Ricky Craven thread the needle there in the middle. And the guys went right through that wreck and went down here and wrecked another corner. Woo. Now that's heads-up driving on Terry Labonte's part, and also on Ricky Craven. I mean, he went right through the middle.
Well, Labonte had to miss the spinning car and then cut back to miss the end of pit wall. Jason Keller spinning coming out of turn 2. Brings out this caution. There's a look at Labonte. And Chad Little's on pit road, so is Larry Pearson.
See him slowing down there. Andy Petrie got in the back of Phil Parsons there. That could have been a wreck, but what a nifty move on Terry Labonte's part to go to the inside like that and get out of that wreck.
Chad Little will take on right side tires under the caution here at Martinsville Speedway. 91 laps complete.